Hey everyone, it's Amrita Corona with the Falcon Group at Keller Williams. Wanted to hop on and talk about a very particular topic, and that is credits that come about from inspection negotiations. So that's yet another place where negotiations happen throughout your transaction. Negotiations are happening, like throughout the entire transaction, but this is another milestone where you could, as a buyer, depending on the scenario, depending on the inspection, depending on the home, ask for things to be fixed or ask for a credit as a buyer. So the seller would then give you that credit to fix it yourself after purchase. Now, let's pretend in this example that I'm going to share with you, the credit is $10,000. Now, there's only two ways you can technically get that credit as the buyer. The first way is you can have that credit applied towards your closing cost. So let's say, in the state of New Jersey, closing costs can vary. So about 1.5% of your purchase price. But let's say in this scenario, it's like $5,000. Okay. Your credit is 10, your closing cost is 5. So now technically you can't get 10 for your closing costs. Your closing costs are only $5,000. So you would have to get the $5,000 credited towards your closing costs, but then you would not be able to get the remainder 5. They can't just cut you a check. So the other way you can do it, and people have done it, is you can cut it off the purchase price. In other words, let's say you're purchasing the property for $500,000. And if you don't have it applied to your closing costs because that's 5 and you want to get 10, you want to get all 10, then you would basically say, hey, make the purchase price on paper $490 instead of $500 and credit me that $10,000 on my purchase price. So that's another way that you are allowed to get a credit. Preferred way, I think, usually is the closing cost, but you cannot exceed the closing cost amount. In other words, if the closing cost is 5, you can't get 10. Your closing cost is 5, you can get 5. If your closing cost is 6, you'll get 6. And if the opposite if the other way is what the scenario is, where your closing cost is 10, your credit is 5, no problem. Your closing cost is 10, we'll credit you 5, so your closing cost now will be 5. You just can't exceed the credit. You can't exceed the credit amount with the actual credit or the closing cost. Does that make sense? It's so hard to keep all this straight in my head. I know what I want to say. So anyways, that was my quick tip, because I think these are little things about real estate that people are not aware of or actually really understand. And there's so many of them. So I was just driving back from an appointment, and I was like, this is a topic that I feel like people don't understand, especially buyers. Even sellers sometimes don't understand. I had a seller who's closing on Monday and was like, hey, there's this transfer tax on my thing and it's like $10,000. What is this? And, there's so many little things. So anyways, I'm coming to provide value. If you have any other questions, I'll think of topics. If you have questions, let me know. And I'll keep posting these so that you can stay educated and informed. And when the time is right, I will be the one to help you buy your investment property or sell your home or buy your dream home, whatever it is. So on that note, have a good evening. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.